Okay, so today we're going to talk about dairy. What's dairy mean? Look at all these hands. I am so in love with all the hands. Yes, ma'am. What's dairy mean? It's made differently for vegetarian. Okay, maybe so. Yeah, what do you think dairy means?
Dairy is like milk and cheese, ice cream.
Absolutely. Milk, cheese, ice cream, all that yummy stuff, right. What kind of animals produce dairy products? Yeah.
Cows.
Cows, absolutely. Dairy cows, right? We're going to talk about all good things dairy products today and what that means. Scroll down. We're going to talk about dairy cattle and how they're raised. We're going to talk about what they eat, calcium-rich dairy products that are important to our health, how farmers provide us with safe, calcium-rich, and wholesome food because it's very important for us to get all of our calcium in every single day. And then we're going to talk about what happens to the milk, what happens it leaves the farm and goes to the grocery store because it's a pretty cool process. Okay. So we talked about beef cattle a couple weeks ago. Do you guys remember that with our bingo game and our marshmallows? Yeah? Yep, you ate all the marshmallows, that's right. So beef cattle we talked about, we use those for our meat production, right? Steak, hamburgers, kebabs, all those yummy things, right? Those often the cattle often live in wide open spaces or stockyards. Not always. It depends on the farmer and what he wants to do, right? But sometimes that's where they hang out. And their bodies are normally more rectangle in shape. They have a little bit more muscle than what our dairy cattle do. Dairy cattle, we use them for their milk production, okay? That's pretty much their purpose in life. They're milked every single day. So if you're a dairy farmer, you have an extra level of responsibility that you have to see those cows every single day because you have to milk them. A lot of times they're in smaller pastures and their body is more trapezoid in shape. Not always, but usually, right? Yes, you have a question?
The black ones actually give beef and the black and white ones give dairy.
Yep, that's exactly right. Black gives meat most of the time and black and white gives dairy. Okay, so we're going to watch a little video, if I can figure out where I put my video. There it is. About a farm family, dairy farm family.
Hi, I'm Cassie Boner. I live on my family's dairy farm. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of our farm and show you where your milk comes from. Milk is what goes into making all your favorite dairy foods like cheese, yogurt, and ice cream. Come on! This is my cow Polly. She is a Jersey. She looks a little different than the black and white Holstein cows you might be used to seeing. Did you know there are 7 different breeds of dairy cows in the U.S.? There are Holsteins, Jerseys, Brown Swift, Ayrshires, Guernseys, Milking Shorthorns, and red and white Holsteins. Jerseys are my favorite. Polly is pretty amazing when you think about it. A dairy cow eats this and turns it into this naturally. Polly and the 450 other cows we milk at Boner Dairy will each produce at least 6 to 8 gallons of milk per day. Don't mind them. Those are my brothers, Tyler and Jacob. They're just trying to sneak their little way into our video. Boys! This is my dad, Scott Boner. We're on a tractor working our crops. What are you doing today, Dad?
Today we're planting soybeans, Cassie, on some of the 1,300 acres we farm and grow corn, soybeans, and wheat to help feed our dairy herd, which each cow eats about 45 pounds of feed a day. You want to drive for a while, Cassie?
Yeah. Here in the barn, we treat our cows like royalty. They eat and drink as much as they want to. They can move around or lay down in clean, soft stalls. They have fans to stay cool in the summer, and the barn keeps them warm in the winter. And we have an animal doctor called a veterinarian that comes every 2 weeks to check up how they are doing. We care for our cows and treat them great, and in return, they produce lots of milk. What?
Nothing, I just want to say, what's up?
What's up? Another thing we take good care of is our land. On our dairy farm, we recycle everything, even the cow manure. I know it sounds gross, but the manure from our cows is collected and spread on our farmland, and it helps the crops grow. And the water on our farm is recycled and reused 3 times. Our cows drink it. We use it to cool the milk after it comes out of the cows, and then we use it to wash the milking parlor with it. We also recycle old newspapers by using them for bedding in our maternity barns. Taking care of our cows and the environment is important to my family. Now we're in the parlor where we milk the cows. This is my mom. She lived on a dairy farm all her life.
Have you showed them how we milk the cows yet?
No?
The cows come into the parlor with their udders bursting full of milk. Everything gets clean and sanitized, including the cows. We clean their teat with a disinfectant and wipe them off to get the dirt off, like washing your hands before you eat supper. Then we put the milking machine on each udder. It gently sucks the milk out.
The cows actually like getting milk. It takes about 5 to 7 minutes for each cow to get milk, and the computer tracks how much milk she gives. A single dairy cow will produce 90 glasses of milk per day, and this room is the first stop on its journey to the grocery store. The milk travels through those pipes from the parlor to this bulk tank. The milk is about 101 degrees when it leaves the cow, and it's quickly cooled to under 40 degrees. The milk gets tested here when the milk truck comes to pick it up, and then tested again when it gets to the processing plant to make sure it's safe for you to drink. The milk you drink is safe and it's fresh. It takes about 48 hours from the time the milk leaves our farm to the time it reaches the grocery store.
There are about 47,000 dairy farm families just like ours who work 365 days a year to provide you with safe and nutritious milk. And because milk contains 9 essential nutrients for good health, it's important for kids just like you to get at least 3 servings of dairy every day to help build strong bones and teeth.
We love what we do, and we're passionate about caring for our cows and the environment to produce a wholesome food that you and your family can enjoy.
We're proud to be dairy farmers.
Okay, who has something they learned from that video that they can share? Yeah, what'd you learn?
I didn't know that there were 7 kinds of cows.
Yep, 7 different kinds of dairy cows. Well, now you know. The more you know, right? What'd you learn?
The different types of cows.
There's different types. Yeah, lots of different types. What else?
There's not that many dairy cows.
Not that many, okay. What else? Something besides how many cows there are. Yeah, what'd you learn?
That they recycle the things that they already use, like the newspaper, so it's bedding for this.
Absolutely. Yeah, they recycle a lot of stuff. They recycle the water, they recycle the bedding, a lot of different things. What else did you learn? Yeah.
I was stretching.
You were stretching. Okay, sorry. Yes, what else did you learn?
When they take the milk out of the cows, do they clean the milk out?
That's a good question. When they take the milk, do they clean the milk? Yes, they don't clean it, but they make sure that it's safe for us to drink, right? So we're going to talk about that process here in just a minute, but they heat it and they cool it to make sure that all of the bad bacteria is killed out of it. Anybody else? Yes.
Why do cows like to drink rainwater?
Rainwater? Because it might taste better. I'm not sure why, but that's what they have access to. Okay. Let's see here. Whoops. Okay. Whoop, I went the wrong way. There we go. Okay. So it takes less than 2 days for that milk to get from the farm to the grocery store. So it goes from the cow to where you can pick it up in about 48 hours, less than 2 days, right? That's really fresh. That's really awesome that our food system allows us to do that. So your question of, what happens to the milk after it leaves the cow, it's heated up and then it's cooled down to ensure that it's safe for us to drink. That process, it's called pasteurization. I think I still get there. Okay. So Here are the different types of dairy cattle. This one is called a Holstein. It's black and white. This particular breed produces the most amount of milk of all the breeds. So it's one of the most popular dairy cows that you'll find. There's a lot of them here in Missouri on the dairy farms. We have a lot of dairies up north in Wisconsin, like north of Missouri, up in other states. But in Missouri, we definitely do have a lot of dairies, but they mostly have Holsteins. Jerseys are also very popular. They're this tan color here. That was the same kind of cow that was in the video. Remember, her name was Polly. She had her on a halter. She was a Jersey cow. And they produce a lot of milk as well, but their milk has a higher fat content. So a lot of times their milk will be used for baking or making cream or things like that, right? It has a lot of fat in it. And this is a Guernsey. It looks a lot like a Holstein, but it's brown and white instead of black and white. So those are some of the main dairy breeds that you'll find here in the state of Missouri. Yes, ma'am.
Little baby calf that's a Holstein.
You do? Yes, they're fun little babies, aren't they? If you guys have questions, we're going to save them until the end, okay? Because I might answer them still in my next few slides. Okay. Okie dokie. So a cow typically remains in the dairy herd until she's about 5 years old, depending on how the farmer wants to use her. Although many cows are capable of staying in the herd for 12 to 15 years. So it depends on, like I said, the farmer and what he wants to do. But cows can usually stay up until they're about 10, 12 years old. This is a picture of the calving barn. So this baby is probably a few minutes old, right? He's not very old at all. What do you notice about this picture? Look at all these hands. Yes, what do you notice?
That there's there's a block, so it's like a stall for the mother to give birth.
Mm-hmm.
Males or females and shoot them so she won't, like when you do a shoot on her birth, she won't give birth.
Absolutely. So she's got her own little space, right? So that there's nobody else bothering her while she's in there giving birth? Yes, exactly. What else?
It kind of looks like it's newborn to me.
Mm-hmm. Newborn.
Because the mama is licking the baby.
Yep.
I know that because actually we had went to go check on the cows, and we knew that when we had found that whole thing, we knew that it was this one because it was like.
He was licking it, yes. So if you've ever seen a cow give birth before, you know that the first thing she does after she gives birth to her baby is licks it off, right? That's the first thing that the mama cow is supposed to be doing, and she's moving in, she's starting to do that, so that's exactly right. She's a newborn, she's about to get licked off. Yes, what else?
In that picture,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of looked like the calf living a butt.
It's just the way it's laying. That's silly. Well, it's not missing one. So this is a picture of the calving barn, right? So it's clean. This mama and baby has its own space, right? The bedding is fresh, and the farmer is nearby to make sure that if they need help with anything, or if the baby, needs help standing up or finding where their mom's milk is, something like that.
Excuse the interruption. One announcement about petting zoo. If you would pretty please take pictures of your kiddos while you're over there and send them to me via email or text, I would really appreciate it. Ms. Karen Sneezen is not in district today either, so she's asked us to provide her pictures as well. Thank you so much.
Hear that, Miss Cavens? Okay. So that is the calving barn. It's very well taken care of, very, very closely monitored in case the mama or the baby would need some help. And then as the babies get older, they move them on to the next barn. So what do they eat? We talked about what beef cattle eat. Do you think they eat the same thing, or do you think they eat different things? Raise your hand if you think they eat different things. Raise your hand if you think they eat the same things. Okay, raise your hand if you're not really sure. Okay. Oh, we got some confident voters in here. Okay. So they actually eat very similar things. Their rations might be a little bit different, where they might eat different amounts of different things, but the types of things they eat is the same. They both are cows. They both eat grass. They both eat hay. They both eat different kinds of grains like corn and soybean hulls and things like that. And so they eat the similar things, but it will not be the exact same thing. So I guess you're all right, technically. But they can also drink up to a bathtub full of water every single day. So think about your bathtub at home whenever you take a bath at night or a shower. Fill that up with water. That's how much one cow drinks in one day.
Like a whole bathtub?
Like a whole bathtub. Yep, full size. That's a lot of water, isn't it? Yep, like a whole entire tank. So cows drink a lot of water. So whenever milk comes from the cow, it's 101 degrees because cows are very warm-blooded, right? Our body temperatures are about 98 degrees. Cows run a little bit warmer. They're about 101 degrees, okay? So then after it's milked from the cow and it goes through the pipes and through the systems and things like that, through the automatic milkers, it's quickly cooled down to about 35 to 40 degrees. So that's how how it's ensured to be safe for us to drink. So it takes 5 to 10 minutes for each cow to get milked. So on the video that we watched, I believe they said they had 300 cows, something like that. So think about that. If you had to do all those cows by hand, it takes about 5 to 10 minutes with these machines, right, that make it go faster. So think about how long it would take if you had to milk 300 cows by hand. Do you think you could do all of that in one day? No, right? An entire week, right? That takes a long time, yeah. Or 100 years. It probably feels about the same to those people.
Milking a cow is basically like a baby nursery.
But the cows really like to be milked, and it's very important that they're milked every single day, because if they don't, then it may start to get painful for them. So they like to be milked. It feels good. They want to get that milk out of them. So it's very important for the farmers to do that every single day. Healthy cows produce the best milk and the most amount of milk. And it's very important that the farmers keep everything clean as well. Did you see how she was washing down the machines and washing the cows off with the hose and things like that? Yes, so that's very important to keep everything clean and to make sure that no dirt or anything gets into the milk and that everything is sanitized. The same thing with a vet. We talked about how the vet comes for the beef cows. Same thing, yep, about every 2 weeks. So the vet comes to check on them to make sure that there's no medicine that needs to be given or anything like that. So that's very important care that the farmers give. Okay, so it takes about 2 days, what we talked about, or less, for the milk to go from the from the farm to the store, right? That's not very long, because when you think about all the things that milk has to do and all the processes it has to go through, that's really fast, right? So it leaves the cow. Here comes the fresh milk into this machine. This is the heating section. This is the cooling section. This is the pasteurization process we were talking about to make it safe for us to drink. So the fresh milk goes in from the cow, it's heated, it's cooled, then the pasteurized milk goes out, then it has to get bottled and packaged and transported and driven to the store. So all of that stuff happens in less than 2 days, right? Pretty crazy. Get back over here, man. Okay. That was Miss Caroline making sound effects. We're going to skip that one. Okay. So, dairy farmers make sure that their cattle are well cared for and comfortable every single day of the year. Remember when we talked about what happens when it snows?
Yeah, they still go out.
They still go out when it snows, that's right. Even on Christmas, right? Christmas morning, I got to wait to open my presents because every single day those farmers have to go out and take care of those cows, right? So, but the dairy farmers, like I said earlier, have an extra layer of responsibility because those cows have to be milked every single day. Because if they don't, then they will get sick. The cows will get sick. And it becomes very painful for those cows if they're not.
And then they won't be able to stand. Every time they will try to, they either fall down or their bones will get very weak and they'll have to just...
Yep, that's exactly right. It's just something that their body has to have happen. They have to be milked every single day. And it's that farmer's responsibility to do that. So not a lot of dairy farmers get to go on vacations in Florida, right? If they do, they have to find somebody else to take care of the cows for them while they're gone because they can't take the cows with them to the beach, can they?
Yes, they can.
I mean, I guess they could, right? But can you imagine 500 dairy cows on the beach in Florida? You're sitting there trying to get a suntan, and those cows are like, hello, we'd like to be milked, please, right? That's not how it works. So you have to make sure that somebody's taking care of those cows every single day.
Cow can milk another cow?
Okay, So, on average, one cow can make 90 glasses of milk every day. So you guys were drinking milk for your breakfast, your little cartons of milk, right? I saw them sitting on your desks. Yeah, so one dairy cow makes 90 of those every single day. So when you go to lunch today and you look in your milk cooler, count, or you don't have to count, but look how many milks are in there. Think about how many cows it took. You can estimate. That's a great idea.
It's like there's like 100 of them.
So that would be one cow. If there's like 100 in there, that'd be one cow that made all of those milks, right? It's pretty crazy. Yes.
Probably before the cow died, they're probably gonna make like 1,000 million of those.
Yep, you're right. Yes.
But the Jersey cows, how do they like produce more fat than milk?
I'm not sure how their milk has more fat in it. Her question was with a Jersey cow, how does their milk have more fat in it? And I'm not sure. It's just their body makes it that way. That's the only answer I have for you. Yes. Mm-hmm. Do brown and white cows make chocolate milk? That is a great question. No, they do not. So all of the milk that comes out of the cows, it's all the white milk. And then any kind of the flavoring that you see, chocolate milk, strawberry milk, I don't even know what kind of other milk flavors there are. That's all added later, right? That's all added when it's bottled later on in the process. That's a good question. They have peanut butter milk?
And chocolate. Peanut butter and chocolate milk. That's another.
The more you know.
You don't have any peanut butter cows?
No peanut butter cows, unfortunately. I'd have one if they did. Okay, so in one day, a cow consumes a lot of groceries, right? She needs a lot of stuff in her body to be able to produce all this milk. So she drinks about 35 gallons of water, which we talked about was like about the size of a bathtub. She needs about 20 pounds of grain. So that's a lot of grain for one cow, right? And she needs about 35 pounds of hay, grass, silage, different things like that. So she takes all of that and she produces about 5 gallons of milk, which is, like we said, about 90 to 100 of those little ones that you guys drink. Or 2 pounds of butter, or about 5 pounds of cheese. Okay? So that's a lot of dairy products that comes from one cow in one day. So let's think about this for a minute. That video we watched, they said they have about 300 cows, I think. Can't remember. Several hundred cows. So if one cow produces 5 gallons of milk in one day,
It'll be fine.
think about all the milk that comes from that one dairy farm in one day, right? It's a lot of dairy products from one place.
Remember how big the cow's udders were?
I do remember that, yes. They were pretty big. Okay. So dairy products are very important to our diet, and they provide us with important nutrients. So some of the most common ones are milk, cheese, yogurt, and whey. What are some other dairy products that we enjoy? Yeah. Ice cream, yes, exactly. What else? Want to phone a friend? We'll come back to you. Yes? Marshmallows? Oh, they're not dairy. We've listed a lot of the common ones, actually.
There's yogurt.
There's yogurt. Is that up here? Yogurt's up here. Milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream. Anybody else have one we haven't said yet?
Sour cream.
Sour cream. Yes, that's one. Yeah. Cottage cheese. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
Maybe I think rice might have it, or
That's a good guess, but no, actually rice is not a dairy product. We've said most of them, I think. Another one might be cream cheese, if you put that on your bagel.
about to say that.
You were? I'm so sorry, I took it from you. But cream cheese, I'm not a personal fan of cream cheese, so I kind of skip over that one.
I'm not really.
Okay, but it's very good for you, right? All of these different foods are very calcium rich, and you need them for strong bones and teeth, and you need them in your diet every single day. Yes, ma'am. Oh yeah, raise your hand if you've ever been to Central Dairy in Jeff City. Some of us, yeah, they have some good ice cream. Miss Cavens likes Central Dairy. Okay. Okay.